Maybe Renee wanted out. Maybe he was afraid his wife would find out. Maybe the wife did find out and she confronted Linda. I mean, we've seen tons of situations, unfortunately, play out like that before. So on November 8th, 2024, the investigators brought Renee Perez in for questioning. And he was cooperative. He admitted to the affair right away, too. And he made it clear that this was not some type of one-time thing. It had been going on for a very long time, just like Linda's friend said. He said that it started at work and then it eventually spiraled into their personal lives. Renee also told the investigators that the two of them saw each other very frequently outside of work and that they even had plans to meet the very night that Linda died. But then he added something else. He claimed that the day before they were set to meet, he had to cancel. Apparently his son was sick. So instead of being a cheating dirtbag who steps out on his wife and on his sick son, he decided to be half of a good human being and stay back with his son and tend to him and cancel his date with his mistress. He also said that Linda was very upset about this change in plans. But he said beyond that, I have no idea what happened to her. I wasn't with her that night. I have no idea. We had plans, yeah, but I never met up with her. Which, I'm obviously not a detective, but when I first heard that, it didn't entirely sit right with me just because it's like, well, you've never really seemed to give any sort of care as to what you're doing behind your family's back. Why are you now? She just so conveniently did have plans with you, but then you had to cancel. But I was like, okay, maybe that makes sense. And maybe the husband found out about the affair. Like, I don't know. The problem was at this point, the investigators didn't have enough evidence to prove that he was lying or really that he was telling the truth. They didn't have much hard evidence at all yet. And this is one of those moments where it's easy to forget that these cases do not come together overnight. I mean, we're hearing about this in a short amount of time, but behind the scenes, this meant that they were building the case. They were pulling phone records. They were waiting on warrants. They were combing through data. I mean, all of that takes time, sometimes a lot of time. And in this case, it did too. 2024 came to an end with no arrests. Linda's family laid her to rest in early November, and at that point, they began the impossible task of learning how to live without her.
I just want this person to be found. It's not going to bring her back, but it's just closure for her friends, for her family, because it's such an empty feeling just not knowing.
And then 2025 came, but it came and it went with no answers. Just first holidays without Linda being there. Milestones that she should have been there for. Milestones from her children, her marriage, everything. And through all of this, there was just this one constant question looming overhead. Would anybody ever be held accountable for this? And if so, when? And her family kept pushing. They went on the news. They spoke out whenever they could. Anything to make sure that Linda's case didn't fade away.
I want Linda back, but that's not going to happen. So what's the next best thing? I got to know what happened, right?
It's hard.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that I can do to fix it.
How do you feel about where the investigation is at so far?
I kind of feel like they're stalling it. I don't know why. This is out of our hands now. This is in their hands, and we need to know. We need to know something. Anything. I want to put flyers up because I feel that somebody must have seen something. There's somebody walking around who took somebody else's life, who shattered a bunch of other lives, and that person is walking free. That's unacceptable.
And then, finally, on March 10th, 2026, nearly a year and a half later, there was a break. Someone had been arrested, and it sure enough was Renee.